Hi, I'm Marshall, the everyday game dev. The GMTK game jam just finished, and I competed in it thinking there would be a nice weekend of game dev and programming. But with 3 hours left and no hope of actually finishing game, I realised I'd been totally wrong about that and I'd quite possibly made all the mistakes required to fail a game jam. So it's 7 PM on a Friday and the theme is revealed.
The theme is joined together.
And very quickly I come up with an idea I'm happy with. The plan for the game was to play as a knight adventuring through a castle and killing enemies to rescue a princess. The join together with theme would be used by discovering knights which you could join up with to form a more powerful larger knight, which would allow you to progress through more powerful enemies. This seemed doable in the time limit of the game jam. Saturday morning comes and I start by creating some world sprites and a player sprite. I then began making the game in Python. I imported Pyglet and PyMonk, which are a graphics library and a physics library. I then created a basic platformer with Coyote Time, which is where you can still jump for a few frames after leaving the ground for those who don't know. After that, I added the player sprite and started to create a level loading system which would use images from the world tile sprite sheet to load levels using images like this, where each colour corresponds to a world sprite. I had also created a bug that meant if you butted up right against a wall, you could jump like many times. And I still have no idea what was causing that. So by the end of Saturday, all I had was a buggy platformer, and I was nowhere near implementing the collectible knights, the enemies, or the end goal princess, so things were looking pretty dismal for the prospects of this game jam. I wake up Sunday morning and I realise that I probably can't finish my game using Python, as progress was really slow on Saturday. So after a bit of research, I decided to switch to Godot for the development of my game jam game, which I'd used before to make some game prototypes. Like this basic Minecrafty block placing game and this top-down tank thing. After downloading Godot, I spent about an hour and a half watching a few tutorials and recreating the game progress I had made using Python, and wow, it was such a nice experience compared to it. From now on, I'm going to be developing Godot, and I'm wondering why I even attempted the jam using Python. At this point, there's 8 hours left of the jam, and armed with a platformer and a sketchy knowledge of how to use Godot, I really needed to get on with development at this point and make the most of every bit of time I had left till the submission. So instead of doing that, I went and had some lunch and did not work on my game for the next 3 hours. I sat back down at my computer about 2:30 with just over 4 hours left, and at this point I was conflicted whether to continue development or just give up and relax for the rest of my Sunday. I spent the next hour deciding on what to do. I was kind of in denial at what the situation was, and I was thinking that I could maybe make a game and upload it in time for the end of the jam. I was also kicking myself and feeling like I wasted an entire weekend without anything to show for it. But at this point, I did just want to go and enjoy the rest of my Sunday and give up on the game jam. And I did, but there are plenty of game jams in the future, and so even though my failure at this game jam was caused by using tools that I'm not familiar with and then switching to a game engine halfway through that I'm also not familiar with, I was just asking for trouble, and also getting distracted didn't help. I will be able to compete in future jams knowing what I did wrong this time. There are several good things that came out of my attempt at competing in this jam. I have decided to switch to Godot for my indie game Castle Capture, which I've already made a small video on, but it's not very good, so only watch it if you have a high tolerance for really bad videos. This should also allow my development speed to increase, and I should be able to release more devlogs for the game. The gameplay you've been seeing throughout this video is my brother's entry to the game jam, Monomaniac. Check it out in the link of description, and give it a rating if you like it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and leave a like if you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. See ya.